multimedia. Quasite beta log. Okay, and quasite beta log 2. Alright, we've got missions. Mr. Tomasi, that is in the containment sector. That's the guy that was floating to thwart early on. This guy is the quarry site. Okay, I'm gonna try this one. I've had this one for a while. Fast travel to Central Research. Equip personal mods to increase your combat effectiveness. So below Central Research. Check if we spawn enemies there. Nope. Now this whole area spawns enemies quite frequently. I want the high ground if I do spawn enemies. Oh, that's close. Maybe stop. Intrusive pattern. Check with our maintenance, research incursion, kill enemies in the research sector. Okay, sweet. It's below the research center. This area also often spawns enemies. Dimensional research, that's actually where we go for the next bit of the quest, main quest. But we don't have to. So below Central Research, I think it's down there. Anyone? Surely not. Where did this spawn? Sounds like there should be more. I think we spawned more. Okay. Right. I'm still doing the kill enemies in Central or in Research. What is this thing? Is this me pulling stuff? It's called this vapor trail. Interesting. Okay, so this way, I think. Below Central Research. No, down, we can go down, it's fine. Slowly. 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 Any loot, any loot. This loot. Ah, there's it. Astral pit. The pit. Double map. I don't know how I feel about this. Quite a bit of mold. Excuse me, ma'am, you've got a bit of mold problem down here. That activates the elevator back up. Accelerator. This. My cabinet stuck in the mold. Okay. Any files? What is that? Guy doing a monkey autopsy. Hold on, there's something upstairs here. No. Okay. Okay.
Area's under quarantine.
I wouldn't go in there without talking to Underhill first.
Even if you have, I still wouldn't go in.
I hate guard duty down here. This place is fucking weird.
This is nothing. The clocks? Now that's weird.
What's weird about a bunch of clocks?
Shut up! I think that's the new director.
Excuse me? Are you lost?
Can you help me?
Do you normally barge into people's private workspaces?
It is Underhill.
She clearly doesn't know who she's talking to.
Shouldn't you be in a
I'm the
safe
janitor,
room?
I'm here to clean stuff.
Why? Because of those hiss things the Rangers keep going on about. Haven't you people sorted that out yet? The situation down here could spell doom for the Bureau.
You mean this mold?
Correct. Perhaps you could help me. I require samples of various mold strains, and the mold has made the environment far too dangerous for me to fetch them myself.
Really? Mold samples? I thought this could spell doom.
It could, and it will, whoever you are. The mold is spreading. We need to find the source before it spreads too far.
And these samples will do that?
No. Samples of 5 unique strains, when blended properly, will allow you to travel deeper into the pit where I've pinpointed the approximate location of the source of the mold.
Okay. So what do these samples look like?
Similar to the one on my table there. I've made a list of the samples I need. Here. You'll find them throughout the threshold.
I'll take a look. My name's Jessie, by the way.
I'm sure it is.
I'm wondering, because she said it will give you sort of immunity to get closer to the center of the threshold, whether this quest will actually give us immunity to go by or past the mold sections we found upstairs.
Have you worked with Emily Pope?
Our paths have crossed. Darling arranged for us to have a coffee. A meeting of the minds, he called it. She's talented. I can certainly see her doing well here.
I feel like there's a but coming.
But she's drunk a bit too much of the Bureau's proverbial Kool-Aid. She shouldn't be afraid to forge ahead on her own. Science is skepticism. Everything must be questioned before the truth can emerge.
Okay.
So, is Darling your boss?
If you insist on clinging to such outdated hierarchies, then yes. However, I would argue that our fields are too dissimilar for one to manage the other. Of course, Darling would much prefer to find his own miracle solution to the Bureau's fungal frustrations. He always needs to be the hero.
So tell me again how you came to work at the Bureau?
Well, like I said, I was brought in as a special advisor. A temporary position, you see. Although that's not the whole truth. I was employed here for a time, straight out of university. After a decade of admittedly fascinating work in threshold research and regulation, I began to chafe under the bureaucracy. I needed a change. Not that academia was so different.
And then the mold happened.
About 4 months ago, yes. Since my departure from the Bureau, they hadn't been able to find my equal in threshold analysis. Darling and I had kept in touch over the years, meeting at conferences and the like. He called me, and I booked a flight. I've never been able to say no to a man with a dangerous alien biosphere. I had to leave my post in the middle of term, but so be it.
So she's a professor. That explains a lot. The mold seems to be having some weird effects on things.
Indeed. Even people are susceptible. The fungus grows rapidly within the chest cavity, killing the host. Luckily, one must ingest the stalks to become infected.
Don't eat the mold. Okay.
We've always cremated the infected bodies after autopsy, but I believe there may be another stage of maturity. A blooming, if you will.
I never thought the word blooming would sound so horrible.
Blooming. Grows near staircases, grows near televisions, grows near toilets, grows near fresh corpses. That's upstairs. No. Yeah, so it is in research.
Thanks for the information.
My pleasure.
It might not be down here. The first time I thought it was actually down here. It might be upstairs in research. Mold threshold. Read it all soon. Let's look at all of them. Threshold utility counter is it?
Could be.
Somebody checking in. And so my understanding is this goes deeper. Active research, active threshold. Unless this actually means this area where we're at now. Astral block.
Be careful down there. Don't want to have to come save you.
Okay, let's read those collectibles. Correspondence. Underhill checking in. Hello Raya, how's it going down there? Enjoying the mold so far? Settling back into life at the old FBC. I also wanted to ask how your coffee with Emily went. She's a star on the rise, incredibly bright, extremely intuitive. But I want to hear what you thought of her. I think you two could be very good on the project together, could learn a lot from each other. Let's get together and chat about it soon. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. I'm sure you can't think of anything besides the mold right now. You always were a woman of focus. I always admire that about you. Talk soon, Casper. From C. Darling to R. Underhill. Subject, how's it going? Okay. And researching records. Mold threshold. So you want to know how my mold research is getting on, Casper. Here is microscopic organisms similar in appearance to blank construct the architecture of the mold. I do not understand if these blank are the original disseminators of the mold or are bitten by some fungal infection. The mold is the most prolific and durable organism I have ever seen. I fear there is a mold source located somewhere on our side of the threshold, rooted here to accelerate growth in our dimension. I refer to this yet unknown source as mold-1. The mold produces an enticing aroma to encourage human consumption of itself. It propagates in the chest cavity and quickly subsumes the entire body, seizing control of motor functions. This behavior was not observed when I first arrived, which means the mold has adapted to our presence, targeting our biological imperatives as a way to spread. It is truly ingenious little thing. The full report will be ready soon. Keep your slacks on. Threshold Utility Counter Essay. Compiled by Raya Unreal Contract Threshold Specialist. Dr. Darling's recently penned essay titled Blank contains some glaring omissions that I feel must shine a light on. Firstly, the entire premise of the essay is that the quarry threshold is beneficial to the Bureau, while the mold is actively hostile, to use his words. We cannot determine the worth of these dimensions and their lifeforms using bureaucratic definitions. Secondly, the mold is much more beneficial than some rock. If the blank creating the mold were reconfigured in their purpose, the structures they could build would rival the greatest skyscrapers. The mold's resistance to various strains of disease we've attempted to introduce could be derived into blank. Yes, admittedly, this application is more difficult than picking up a rock and gluing it to a wall, but I pause to wonder when the Bureau lost its eagerness for a challenge. Refer to file 2-35-1863 for full report. Okay. Quick look around, see if we can gather mold. So, near toilets, near televisions, near staircase. There is something. And the television, doesn't it? Also, the entrance area to the toilet. Can we go there? We actually have to go deeper into this section. Okay. Let's go deeper. Because it does say active research / active threshold. Grows near fresh corpses.
Bleach did the trick. Has Underhill tried bleach?
Underhill tried bleach. Just checking. Not sure if this is the way to go for a squid.
Smells so sweet down here. Suddenly I'm really hungry. I wonder how this mold tastes.
Don't do it. Don't do it. The television staircases near the pit. Kill mold host. Are there more? I think I need to change. Shit. That light man. Pink flamingo supplement. What is this thing? I think there's still a live enemy somewhere, but I can't see him. Pink flamingo supplement. AR-46. Agents noticed a transient commonly found outside the entrance of the Bureau headquarters would carry the item and loudly claim to be responsible for the lack of inclement weather. The frequency of these claims attracted the personal interest of Dr. Darling. In interviews disguised as casual conversations, the transient reported that the item gives me clouds when it's hot and sun when it's not. An event of note occurred during a heavy downpour when the vagrant was witnessed performing a possible ritual with the item. CPAI 1372 for a detailed observation. Dr. Darling reported a wait of blank seconds before the rain stopped. The vagrant was seized the next day. After blank, he was found to possess no blank and was released. The item remains in Bureau custody under suspicion of altered status, though this still has not been proven. All known variations of identification formulas have failed to elicit a response from the item. Pink flamingo, acquisition date 1997. One that twists reality. Astral blood, levitation, and operations. This music makes me... What is that? I feel there's an enemy here somewhere. Oh, there's lots of enemies there. Explosive enemies. Around this corner.
Are those people?
Where? I didn't see him. There's something going down there. Ah, there we go. Ah, there we go, a bureau alert. Do this. Sorry, I'll come back. It's been a while since we got one of these. Good to do.
All clear.
I'll come back. We go and do an alert. Ordinary town model. Ages since we got an alert. I was like, what? We're going on there. Central research. How do we get up there then? Yeah, it might be. Oh man. Okay, and we are actually trying to get to a containment personnel protection section. Bureau alert. Going to the nearest access point. Okay. Board countermeasures. Got one done. Rare prime weapon mod. Spin rate fire boost. Okay. Research containment section. Shatter maneuvers. Without getting hit, kill these snipers with shatter. These rangers. Using shatter. Using melee. Don't like specific ones that's not easy. These rangers using shatter. Okay. So we want to go to ordinary AWE in the ordinary. Okay. You use both C and the environment to avoid incoming attacks. Always keep moving to avoid being overwhelmed. So we're gonna go that direction. I think. Yeah. Okay. So we've got a hectic. Let me just stop that. Let's finish this and then we can There was one guy left in 3 of theirs. Maybe that's why they didn't call me for these things, because I fail my personnel. What? What is this? Ordinary AWE stage 4B. Okay. 4B. Witness testimonies. We went in and met Polaris. Like a star, she told us we were special. She made us special. It felt like being born or reborn. The world's fading in for the first time. Familiar but somehow different. JF. Therapy session 2010. Polaris told us how to turn off the projector. The dung monkeys and the not mother were coming straight at us. Dylan was crying. I turned it off and they were gone. It was over. I took all the slides and burned them, all of them except hand. JF. Therapy session 2010. Unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity designation Polaris. EID 19929. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save and call the stream there. Thanks for hanging out today. I took it a bit easier today because I wasn't feeling well at the start of the stream. I'm feeling better now though. And we made a lot of progress with exploring sort of edges and nooks and crannies. We still need to upgrade a bunch of our weapons and learn how to deal with mold, which we think is that mission we just picked up down below the research sector. However, during the week I think I'm going to be streaming 2 Point Hospital, and then next weekend I will continue playing Control. But